The stories fueled by Japanese folklore don't just comprise made-up urban legends or scary tales that have passed down through generations. Some of these stories showcase the real horrors, true incidents that may have been forgotten by history, but send chills down your spine when you hear about them. One of such stories revolves around an ancient practice in Japan called Hitobashira, a ritual that may sound like yet another disturbing horror story, but it used to be a common practice in some areas of ancient Japan. Hitobashira in ancient Japan was a practice of sacrificing humans whenever the state was trying to construct something of significant importance, such as bridges, tunnels, dams, castles, and so on. The way of performing the ritual varied from one instance to another. Like, if a bridge was to be built, they would drown the sacrifice in the water. While constructing tunnels, they may bury the sacrifice alive in the ground. Or when constructing a castle, they would bury the sacrifice in the structure itself, especially in the pillars. The practice of Hitobashira continued for many years, so there isn't just a single incident that makes this urban legend a sad tale. However, there's one story in particular that showcases the disturbing nature of the ritual. Hidden in the tranquil countryside of Fukui Prefecture, Maruoka Castle stands as one of the oldest surviving castle towers in Japan. But what you may not know is that behind its serene facade lies a disturbing story of betrayal. During the Sengoku period, Maruoka Castle was plagued by failure during its construction. The structure would collapse repeatedly, either due to construction flaws or natural calamities. So it was decided to perform the ritual of Hitobashira by burying the sacrifice alive beneath the castle's foundation to appease spirits. The authorities summoned a poor local and offered her a proposal. If she agreed to the sacrifice, they would make her son a samurai, which means he would no longer live a miserable life, but become an honorable member of society with a high status. The woman agreed to the unimaginable terms, all in exchange for her son to live a good life. Ironically, the structure stood firm after the sacrifice, making the locals believe even more so in such a disturbing superstition. However, the story doesn't end here. The saddest part of this tale is that despite the woman keeping her word, the state refused to uphold its promise, and her son was never granted the title of a samurai. The legend of Okiku Doll is another Japanese urban legend with a sad origin. Unlike other urban legends that are fueled by trauma and despair, the story of Okiku Doll tells us that misfortune comes to even those who have seen nothing but love in their lives. Legend has it that there once lived an innocent girl in Hokkaido, Japan, who was adored by her family, especially her elder brother. He would spend all his free time with her and make sure that his little sister had all her wishes fulfilled. Now, one would assume that all that love and attention from her family would spoil the girl rotten. But on the contrary, the girl was a kind soul, obedient, well-mannered, and always composed despite her young age. Her birthday used to be a very special day for her elder brother. He would plan for it weeks ahead and always try to get her something special as a birthday present. On her 5th birthday, her brother gifted her an Ikematsu doll. What made this gift so special is that the doll looked a lot like his younger sister. Little did he know that it was the last birthday that she would get to celebrate with her family. Days after, the girl fell sick. The family tried everything and got her the best medical help that they could get. But her condition worsened as days passed, leading to her demise. After her funeral, the family gave away all her belongings. But one thing they couldn't let go of was the Ikematsu doll gifted to the girl by her elder brother. Due to the uncanny similarities in the appearance of the girl and the doll, the family was convinced that the spirit of the girl lives inside the doll even after her passing. And giving the doll away felt like they would lose their little girl again. Call it their conservative beliefs or a way to deal with the trauma. Keeping her doll seemed like the only way the family could move on with their lives. Convinced that their little girl is still with them, watching over the family through thick and thin. Days passed, and her mother started noticing something that she simply couldn't ignore. The doll's hair started growing on their own. The growth was minuscule and went unnoticed for many days. But as time passed, The doll's hairstyle changed from what originally was a bob cut. This led the family to believe that the doll is no longer a home to their daughter's spirit. Rather, something sinister possesses the doll that they keep in their house. This left the family no choice but to give away the doll to the temple in Hokkaido and leave the town for good. To this very day, they say that the doll's hair continue to grow and the priests of the temple trim them short. Maybe it's their way of keeping whatever's inside the doll contained or preventing it from going berserk. Teke Teke is more than just a horror story or an urban legend fueled by Japanese folklore. To most of you out there, it may be a terrifying tale of a vengeful spirit, a story in your collection that you narrate to your friends in the dark while hanging out. But to me, what makes this urban legend stand out is its sad origin. Teke Teke showcases the consequences of bullying. It unfolds the dark aftermath of what you may see as a harmless prank and how it may destroy the life of others. The legend has it that there once lived an ordinary schoolgirl in Japan who was a victim of bullying on a daily basis. She did not just endure the verbal abuse, but also the physical trauma, all thanks to the bullies in her school. Things took a dark turn on an unfortunate day when her bullies took their assault too far. In an attempt to get away from them, the girl fell on a train track. The impact broke her leg, rendering her unable to move. As she heard a train approaching her from a distance, the girl felt helpless and turned to her bullies for help. This is the part where you know that her bullies didn't have even a fraction of humanity in them. Rather than helping her get out of harm's way, they laughed at the poor girl's misery as she begged for her life and eventually fled the scene. Unfortunately, she could not survive as she was split in half by the approaching train. Consumed by rage and agony, she transformed into a vengeful spirit with the sole purpose of inflicting the pain she endured on others. Her victims aren't just bullies or people similar to the ones who tormented her. Anyone who encounters her gets to feel her wrath. It's like in the moment of her demise, the girl lost her faith in humanity entirely